There's, hey.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. Thanks for being here. Welcome to the Redevelopment Commission meeting. Will you please stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance? Can we do the roll call?
Mayor Bonta,
Here.
Commissioner Ambler,
Here.
Commissioner Josviak,
Here.
Commissioner Lack,
Here.
Commissioner Munt,
Here.
Commissioner Vasquez.
Here.
Let's see, did anybody have a chance to read I hope everyone had a chance to read the meeting minutes for the regular meeting and the special meeting? We should always read those minutes, guys.
Do they need a separate motion for each, or can I do one for both? I make a motion to approve the regular meeting minutes for September 25th, 2025.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Oh, and then we've got the special meeting.
Make a motion to approve special meeting minutes.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, that gets us to the payment of claims. Did everyone have a chance to look at the claims? And are there any, I almost said opinions of them, any motions or questions related to the claims?
Motion to accept the claims.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
That gets us to staff reports. Hey, Dan.
Good afternoon, members of the commission, Mr. President, Mayor. The staff report for this, and I'll go through these, and if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Discussion on the residential housing development programs. We did have, excuse me, there was the last meeting of the council. They did approve the residential housing development programs by resolution approving the Plan Commission's action. There is a special meeting scheduled for Thursday, November 6th for the Redevelopment Commission to confirm the declaratories. The public notice is scheduled to be published on Friday, more than 10 days in advance. The Buzz Crone of Crone and Associates will be sending out the tax impact statements that are required to all the overlapping taxing units. The confirmatory resolution in draft form has already been prepared and should be available for public review in case anybody wants to review that. That has already been done. So we are on our way we are ready to go. We're consistent with the schedule to confirm the 5 resolutions for each one of the programs on November 6th. If there's any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them. The developers are awaiting confirmation so that they can start to or continue to go to their banks with those documents for the next step of the bonding process. Any questions? None?
Thank you.
Excellent. Under 7.2, consideration of the facade grant, I did submit to, and I don't know if this is as much a consideration, but for submission to the full board for consideration at your November full regular meeting. I did prepare the facade grant for Commissioner Munt to review. He did review it, had minimal, if no changes to that. It has been included in your packets for full commission review. If you have all reviewed it and you want to approve it as an application program of the commission, you can do that this evening, or you can take another month to consider it. My recommendation would be to take the next period to consider it, and I would suggest, and I'm sure that legal counsel would recommend, having a resolution that states we have a facade program for which money can then be expended for that purpose, as opposed to just approving that program. I'm more comfortable with the resolution because then that becomes an official action. So take the time over the next 30 days to review it. If there's anything that needs to be added. In addition to that, take into consideration how much in funds that may be allocated in our fiscal year 2026 budget, because we'll be talking about that at the November meeting and subsequently. and I'll go into a little bit more detail about that.
Is that something we can coordinate with our 26 budget and pass
Yes.
them all at the same time so we know how much money to allocate towards that?
Yes, exactly. But if you have something in mind, start to think about it. But we'll coordinate that. We'll have a work session for the fiscal year 2026 budget, similar to last year's. And at that time, I'll have all the budget information with cash flows and make that available so we can go through and identify what could be available for, and prioritize those projects and programs that we would fund. Any questions on the facade grant? On the landscaping and signage, I will put those two together under 7.3 and 7.4. I'm still working on those. It's been a busy last 2 weeks with getting all the information out for the 10 days notice on the residential housing development projects, as well as getting the documents ready for your consideration on the project runways southeast and southwest projects, and getting that all coordinated. So there's, 7 projects, of which there's also an 8th and an 8.1 after that, generally for the Melton Road 20 project that is being considered, which I will talk about also. But I'll have those landscaping grant and signage grants available for the 2 assigned members to review. And if there's no comments, I can have Sonia send those out to the full commission, and we can consider those also at the November regular meeting and the budget process. Under 7.5, Project Runway Southeast and Project Runway Southwest. These projects are moving quickly. I don't know. I would defer to Mayor if you want to discuss either of the projects at this time, or...
I would just say that we took some steps. I think it's the project runway, I'm remembering directions. The southwest side, we met with the area where it's owned by the real estate office this week that had to do with, well, Bill, is that coming in later? Or, okay, then I'm just going to wait till we get Bill up here. But yeah, we've made some good progress on Project Runway, which I will remind everyone is the Target and BJ's area development, not a reality show ran by the city.
Right. So for that purpose, to stay on track with the schedule for the projects themselves, the Planning and Community Development is reviewing the site plans and the projects themselves to review with the developer. Before you and submitted is, and I'll put it up on the screen for you, are 2 resolutions. The first one is resolution number 2025-13. These 2 projects are going to be financially incentivized by an economic development revenue bond that will be purchased by the developer, Simon CRE, or the subsidiary that will be running those individual projects. So what we will be doing by this resolution is pruning or removing that parcel, in each case, the one parcel that's assigned to that project, out of the Southport from the Southport Economic Development Area's allocation area, and then designating it and creating and designating its own specific unique allocation area and its own specific unique allocation fund, so that the bonds will be pledged, the bonds will be repaid from a pledge of the tax increment specific to that project, whether it's southeast or southwest. So in this case, resolution number 25-13 is specific to the removing from the Southport allocation area, and what I'll do is it only showed the first page. What's going on here? Well, technology always doesn't work the greatest. What we'll do is we'll go to the original. Bear with me here.
Well, we all trust it's great, so I'm sure it'll pass anyway. Reminds me of the guy who wrote a movie review where he said the sound wasn't working in my theater, but I figured I might as well give it 5 stars. I mean, who knows?
Right. So we'll bring up the Word document, and we'll just do it that way. I apologize for that. So I do have there is a So Exhibit A is the Simon Southeast allocation area. There is a boundary description. In general, it is one parcel, 64-06-30-100-24, period 000-016, and it is only specific to the 40 north acres of that parcel. It will be subsequently subdivided, and it will have its own key number, but for right now, it is the 40 north acres that is in the allocation area, and that is the boundary description that is off their documents. And then as far as the map, you can see the area at Airport Road, north and south, US Highway 6. It is at the southeast intersection. The allocation area runs along US 6 and then further east and to the west. But the southern portion of the economic development, Southport Economic Development area is along the line that I'm drawing now. And so it will extend all the way. Now, the project itself has a little triangle that comes down maybe about 30 or 40 feet, and it holds a little bit of a detention pond. So it's not going to impact, and it's, in my opinion, it's not worth the benefit of going back and amending the Southport Economic Development area for that small little triangle that it's not going to have a major
We're not going to
impact.
capture much increment from that
There's
detention
nothing
pond.
that's going to be captured from it. So this is the area on Exhibit B. It is a list of individual components. It is only one key number. This is provided more for the Porter County Auditor so that when they code a parcel as in an allocation area, they know the legal description, they know the key number, they know the current owner, the address, and what it's currently coded as, and it also provides for the net assessed value of the property that as of January 1st, 2024 for pay 25. Of course, that may change dependent upon the 2025 assessment, but we don't know what that is. The easiest way to explain it is the assessor's office knows that at the county level and township level, but it's not in our universe or our world right now. I'll rely on a Marvel Universe analogy. It's in their world, but we don't see it yet until they open that up. So for right now, it's January 1st, 2024, pay 25 assessment information. The resolution, and both are generally the same. It also, for purposes of the obligation, includes language that states that will be added to the economic development plan for the area. The paragraphs that the tax increment revenues of the allocation areas, both the Simon Southeast and Southwest allocation areas, sources of funds can be used to finance costs of infrastructure improvements interserving the allocation area, for utility infrastructure, street and paving, park, public improvements. The second paragraph is the allocation area's sources of funds available may be used to offset payments by developers on promissory notes or obligations. And I'm summarizing. The next paragraph is the acquisition or construction of projects to enhance the cultural attractiveness of the entire district and the city. The acquisition or construction of projects to enhance the public safety or assistance with training and educational and training programs pursuant to this IC 37-7-25-7, which is what you do already by granting funds to the school, and all other project and purposes permitted by law. Bond council wanted that included just to ensure, because the economic development plan for the Southport Economic Development Area was done in the 90s, and we just, for purposes of ensuring that the language is in there and it's current, that was one of the recommendations. Other than that, the resolution itself is pretty straightforward. It does have an allocation provision that once the parcel is pulled out, and then I call that pruning, and then it's placed back into its own allocation area, it will be known as under Section 2, the Simon Southeast Allocation Area. It will have a life of 25 years from the date of issuance of an obligation or debt service secured by the allocated tax. So in this instance, once the developer in the city closes on that economic development revenue bond that has a pledge from tax increment revenue, that starts the clock. And that is assumed to be sometime this year, either in November or December, assuming how fast this moves through the system. And then Section 3 is a statement that establishes the Simon Southeast Allocation Fund and authorizes the city's fiscal officer, the clerk treasurer, as the treasurer of the commission to create and establish that fund to receipt, disperse, and monitor tax increment revenue activity. The next section is generally stating that the base assessment date will be January 1st, 2025. That Section 5, that the Redevelopment Commission will annually file before June 15th, a request to capture the incremental assessed value in order to generate tax increment on the repayment of the bonds. And of course, Section 6 is the Economic Development Plan text to be included. The next sections are generally for the purposes of the process, that the presiding officer here will authorize and directed to submit the resolution to the city's plan commission, which it goes to next if approved, and then making sure that all the written orders, that the plan commission's written order is, if approved, is sent to the common council, and that we will identify the amendment to the city's planning organizations, whether that's the Plan Commission, Board of Zoning Appeals, Building Commissioner, or any other departments that have a planning function. And then ensuring that the tax impact is sent to the overlapping units, and a statement disclosing that tax levy and tax rate impact be filed 10 days before a public hearing for a confirming resolution. That is, in general, a quick summary of the resolution. To summarize, it basically amends the economic development plan for that text, as both do, as Resolution 14 will do. Resolution 13 then prunes that key number out, puts it back into its own allocation area, and sets the allocation provisions. If there's any questions on resolution number 25-13, I would be more than happy to answer those. The developer and their bond counsel have reviewed it and had no questions on it. And our bond counsel provided the template for this, Tom Pittman of Barnes and Thornburg, and I used their template to provide that and prepare this.
Do these need to be read?
Yes, and they should be approved.
Do they need to be read like
Oh,
council
in
style?
full?
Like, I don't think, can you just read like the title or?
Typically read them by title. Right.
And separately, or can we do
Yes.
them both together?
I would say separately. I would defer to council, but I usually say separately.
Then I will make a motion to approve resolution number 2025-13, a resolution of the Portage, Indiana Redevelopment Commission, creating and designating a new allocation area within the existing Southport Economic Development Area, modifying the Southport allocation area, allocation provisions, and taking related actions. Let the record show this has been read in its entirety.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The next before you is resolution number, let's see if that one will come up now. Southwest, Southwest only showed the second. Anyways, I'll show you at the beginning. It's generally the same. Let's see here. Well, you know what? My Adobe Acrobat is just not working well today, so I apologize. But in general, Resolution 2025-14 is a similar resolution. The only difference is that the parcel, in fact, let me bring it up because it does have the map on it, and I want you to see that map. It is the southwest area. Thank you. It is the Southwest project. This is a separate and unique project of Simon CRE. Let me just go to the end here. It is at the generally the southwest corner intersection of US Highway 6 and Airport Road, also being County Road North 500 West. It is about 25.5 acres. There is a anchor development, anchor retail project for this commercial development along with outlots. The designs, plans, and description of the project is being reviewed by the Department of Community Planning and Community Development as we speak. Developer similarly is looking for financial incentive, and this resolution, again, takes the parcel out, which is parcel number 64-05-25-276-003, period 000-016, removes that from the Southport allocation area, places it into its own new and unique separate allocation area, known as the Simon Southwest allocation area. And then it creates and establishes a Simon Southwest allocation fund for the purposes of receiving, expending, and monitoring the tax increment revenue activities of that project. So if there are any questions on this project, or declaratory resolution, I would be more than happy to answer those.
I will make a motion to approve resolution number 2025-14, a resolution of the Portage, Indiana Redevelopment Commission creating and designating a new allocation area within the existing Southport Economic Development Area, modifying the Southport allocation area allocation provisions and taking related actions. Let the record reflect this has been read in its entirety.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Thank you very much, and I believe that Simon CRE, which is a developer out of Phoenix, Arizona, are watching the meeting this evening, and they're very interested to make sure that we stay on course and within timeline. So I want, on behalf of Simon CRE and the city itself and the ED administration from Andy Milletta at the Portage Economic Development Corporation, for Director Tom Cherry in Planning and Community Development, and all those that were part of the negotiations and the process. I mean, this is one domino that's being pushed in the projects being completed, but thank you to everybody so far. And Simon CRE has been really good to work with, and we look forward to moving this project on. So thank you. Under 7.6, update on Project Kayak Point. We did have a meeting with the primary developer of Project Kayak Point. I had a meeting with them. They are, and I've mentioned this in the past, they are looking to have a ancillary development occur with them, which is known as Tenant B. I don't know who Tenant B is, but it is the construction of anywhere between 200 to 350,000 square feet of additional light manufacturing that supports Tenant A, which is the developer of Kayak Point on Melton Road, just west of the Salt Creek. They do have all the land in their ownership. They closed on the last piece of land on October 15th. We did receive the action that the commission took to purchase the infrastructure and the pipe as a utility, sanitary sewer utility. That purchase agreement the invoice has been sent, and we will be making payment on that. So we will take possession of that infrastructure, which will then begin the process of moving along the Project Kayak Point design and architecture. The meeting I had with the developer and Tenant B this past Tuesday was a very good meeting. They are looking to move to the city of Portage. They had questions, the CFO as well as their consultants that are assisting them had questions on financial incentivization, how it would work, And as a company coming from another state to Indiana, they needed assurance of how the financial incentive would work. So this is a similar case where Kayak Point, similar to the Project Runway, Project One Ways, would be pruned out and put back into their own allocation area specific to those projects. It is a question of, are we going to treat tenant B uniquely from tenant A? That's to be determined, but we'll work that all out. I did mention that the city of Portage is looking to work with them. We've been working with them already. And again, on behalf of the Portage Economic Development Corporation, Andy Miletta, Tom Cherry in Planning and Community Development, and the entire administrative team in working to move this project forward. Again, it's another domino that is potentially anywhere from 300 to 450,000 square feet of potential space along that corridor. And I've always stated in the meetings that the reason why it's Kayak Point is because the developer of tenant A, the primary developer, is looking to donate land along the Salt Creek for kayak access, and they want to market this east gate entry on 20 as Kayak Point, where people can have recreational opportunities that would access Imagination Park, as well as to the south, as well as the Dunes National Park to the north. We have been in communications with the kayak individuals, the kayaking group. We've been in communication with the Visitors Bureau in Porter County, as well as the National Park, and they're excited about having an alternative access to Salt Creek. So this project is moving forward. I'll keep you up to date, but it may be at your November meeting that we'll have another amending declaratory resolution for you, whether it's for tenant A and B or tenant A and B separately. That's the update on. Any questions on Project Kayak? It's been busy. I don't know if Andy is here today. Andy's not here, but he can tell you.
Yeah, it's a really exciting project, and
Yes.
it's not just about kayaking. We just can't say a lot yet.
Right.
Right.
But we will be able to soon. We
But
will
there are
be able to.
kayaks involved. It's not just kayaks.
And the company is not making kayaks, I can tell you that. They do not make kayaks, but they're very environmentally sensitive, and they want to make sure that there is access for the city. And it's a good opportunity for the Parks Department. I see that Ms. Kelly is here, so it's an opportunity for us to expand our offering of amenities and activities to the citizens of Portage, as well as Northwest Indiana and Porter County. Under 7.7.
Excuse me, I have a question. I know you say you can't really give a lot of information at this time, it's probably not ready, but when you're saying, and I appreciate on behalf of the communities, that more activities will be available for everyone.
Right.
Children and families altogether. In terms of employment, and I don't know if you have any idea, but at this point, would you say that the impact on employment for our community would be significant?
It would be in excess of 50 employees, if not more. That's just tenant A. Tenant B,
That
I
would be
can't
the-
speak to right now. I have no information on them.
And there's also something to be said for the people who get employed when you're building on
Right.
buildings and things as well. It's a really good question, and so much as we're talking about it, I want to be quick on time, because I promised Dan we'd be done by 5:30 if possible, but if not. But one of the big things when you're talking about incentivizing economic development, it really needs to be job-based. Companies come into Portage, makes a lot of money, that's great for the company, but from our perspective, there needs to be a return that comes back to the city in some way, and one of the most obvious, if you can arrange it, is that it ends up creating employment both during the construction of what's coming in and then maintains employment after. And ideally, the better wages, the better stability, the better that project is to try to attract.
And I can say that between the 5 residential housing development programs, these 2 projects, as well as the Project Airways Southeast and Southwest, you will definitely be keeping busy the carpenters, the plumbers, the electricians, the concrete finishers, the unskilled and skilled laborers in Northwest Indiana and Portage area. and local businesses also.
And I'm hopeful that young people will also benefit from employment opportunities.
Should be able to. Should be able to, yes.
Dan, in reference to Project Kayak Point, are you aware of, I think it's called Paddle Portage? It's a small
That's who we've been
business? talking
talking to, yes.
Okay.
Yes. There is, through the, and I may have the wrong name, the Porter County, it's out of Chesterton, Porter County Visitors and Convention Bureau, Visitors Bureau. Been working with Christine Livingston, and they have a meeting every couple months on this particular issue. And so I've presented this to them already, and the paddlers were there already. They're excited. They are very excited.
I think I'm allowed to say this name. We actually call it the Salt Creek Conspiracy Group, because it's a group of people, and nobody but, you know, our team knows the overall thing, but they're all aware of the kayaking aspect of it, and it's part of a group doing long-term work to have more than one kayak point on Salt Creek.
Right. So the intent at this area is to have not only a pavilion, but bathrooms. And in the uniqueness of the site is that it actually touches the national park, the land, but it's almost an oxbow in the river. So a potential for a walking trail that's interpretive of this area in Salt Creek, but also, you know, ramps that would allow people to walk their kayaks, and then parking for not only your cars and trailers, but then the potential along 20 for a small kayak rental structure. And that may be something that the owners of Tenant A, as the developers, may build. So, or it may be something that Portage itself runs, similar to the ice rink in the winter, and then renting out skates, we would rent out kayaks. So, just something to
Do
consider.
we have a map of where this is?
Sure, I could bring one up if you can wait a second. I'll bring one up.
Doesn't take too long.
I think if you get, if it's quick, I mean, I think it'd be great to see, I don't mean quick on your part, but if it's not trouble for Dan, I think it's great for people to see the area we're talking about.
Bear with me.
If you guys remember, this was part of an earlier deal that we made about getting the pipe's not really the correct word, but, you know, for lack of a better word, a pipe that, you know, we did to help make this more developable.
True.
We're starting to see some return.
Am I in the right area? There it is, right there.
So yeah, you see where the blue is for the creek? That's the area where the
So
kayak.
you have, and that is the parcel now. So the parcel that I'm clicking on here is the national park. That is national park land, that triangle there. And you can see how the oxbow goes in and out, and it creates an issue. So the thought is this area defined here is what they're looking to donate, pretty much from where I'm drawing now, to the Salt Creek, they're looking to donate. The issue is, if we were to have access to Salt Creek here, theoretically and legally, you're going through national park land, which means that's somewhat of a no-no. They don't want you to do that. They'd rather have access, and this is where working with the paddlers helped, because if access were to be along the Salt Creek in this area, if you were to go south, you can do it for free in theory. If you were to go north, technically you have to have a national park pass to get into the national park.
Dan, don't tell people that. We get so many people who call City Hall because they think that we own the beach, and they think that we're charging them $25 to go into the beach, and we tell them that's the national park.
And if the ramp were in the area where I'm showing you now, you'd only be able to go with maybe 30, 40 feet either way. So it creates an issue, but this is the area that we were talking about. The pipe that is the infrastructure we purchased is basically a line that goes underneath here and then serves this whole area up in the area. so you can see where it's located. And this is the general, along Melton Road, this is our east access point. Because as you can see by the line, that green line that I'm following, that parcel is still in Portage.
And a lot of people don't know that. I've had people see this map, like, I didn't realize, a lot of them, I think, they think you cross the bridge and you're completely out of Portage already, but.
Right. So if you were to look in the budget order for the city of Portage from the state, it has Portage Township and Portage Westchester Township. That little area is Westchester Township. So that's why that occurs. So there's a little bit in north, but that's in the national park.
And I'm always just fascinated by the geography. It's one of two areas in the city, small areas, where the kids go, if they go to public school, they go to Chesterton instead of Portage, even though they are Portage residents, you know?
Right. So it is a little area. So that's the location of, oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Any other questions on Kayak Point? None? So under 7.7, update on the Portage Master Plan, I did receive back from Scott Falk, who was here at the last meeting. He allowed conversation, he sent me a communication and email that they're working on updating their numbers for the master plan, and that's something they would be interested in preparing and looking at starting in fiscal year 2026. Dependent upon that the proposal as submitted. So they're going to get that to us, and we'll have that available for the budget meeting that we'll have next month. And we wanted to keep that on there for the sake of not forgetting about it or losing track of it and having it fall through the cracks. That's under old business, Mayor.
Awesome. Well, that gets us to new business. We have Chief Crail, discussion, use of grant gift fund. Come on up, Chief. But no, Wilma, I bring up that Portage, Chesterton thing, because I've met people who they've said, oh, I'd love to vote for you. I'm like, well, you can. That's why I'm knocking on your door. And they say, well, no, I live in Chesterton. Why are you knocking on my door? I'm like, no, you live in Portage. You just live in Westchester Township, which, again, it's just kind of a neat experience when that happens, assuming they like you, I guess.
Good afternoon. Just here to let you know that we have wrapped up the portion of our capital stack that was created by Director Bowditch for our port security grant. That does close our port security grant. The totals are $4,100 for trailer transit and $7,799.09 for lake assault, totaling $11,899.09. I'm glad to have this federal grant closed and paid in full. So thank you all very much for providing the money for us to be able to use that capital stack and facilitate the upgrades for our boat. So thank you very much.
Thank you guys, too.
Have a good evening.
Thank you so much, Chief. And that gets us to Captain Candiano for discussion, use of grant gift funds. I don't know why it says Captain Candiano. I didn't. What? That's Chief Yeah. I was like, man, there's going to be a conspiracy theory going around.
He hasn't been demoted, has he?
Well, he's also not here, which has me kind of concerned. Is there anyone here to speak for the police? And if not, I'll make. What was the topic? It just says use of grant gift fund. So, Tom, do you think it might be about the thing that we were talking about yesterday?
Yeah, that's for an internal discussion.
Right.
Maybe we'll just wait on that.
We can wait.
No?
It was
Oh,
for-
no?
They want to use the money to buy two screens or things or two TVs. I think it was at the end of the packet.
Yeah, I could, two of their, I'm sorry, I thought it was the one you were talking about. I'm sorry, Captain Candiano can't be here, but two of their TVs went out. They're pretty old TVs, so they're just out of their courtesy, to explain they're using that out of the grant money to purchase two more TVs, probably similar to those. So, I don't know what the amount was. Okay.
And for-
$599.98.
Each? Oh, really? Wow, good deal. So that's what that was for.
And
The
they
other
do
discuss-
use them for training purposes,
Yeah.
so it is a
I
qualified
think one
use.
is going in the dispatch, or the front office, and the other one, I think, is for training room.
Training purposes.
So that's what it's for.
All right, well, thank you so much, Tom. And Tom has no rank with the police department, but we appreciate him talking about it. That gets us to discussion. Kelly Smith, use of grant gift fund. Hey, Kelly.
Good afternoon, Commissioners, Mayor. Hopefully you received my email, and thank you for allowing me. The year just snuck up on us, and it's coming to a close, so I wanted to present these items before we get too late. Anyhow, with the ice rink coming, did you all receive the email by chance? Wonderful, I just don't want to kill a bunch of trees from the park, so. Okay, we have the solar security cameras, which we discussed for open air, which we believe is necessary, especially with the rink coming and having that up there. So that was the one item. Second was 2 commercial grade coffee makers. We just had our haunted hayride, and the ones we have are really old and in need of repair. So those will also be used at the ice rink. And then we are switching our concessions, everything over, especially with at open air. It's kind of secluded up there. It's going to be cashless, so it's a tap and pay, as well as when you come to check in at the ice rink, there'll be a waiver that you need to do. It's digital. So it's been working really well for us, and the cash registers that we have are obsolete. You can't even replace the parts on them, and no one uses a cash register anymore. So, and they're like $500, $600, which is wild to think that a laptop is a little bit less. The next one is the Dynaflex. Those are the taps to pay. And then rigs, we were looking at 2 leaf blade plows. They would attach onto the Kubotas that the RDC purchased us earlier this year, and it really would move the leaves in woodland a lot quicker and expedite that process with the staffing we have. The hurricane blower, to give you an idea, is like $30,000. We do have one of those, but to move those leaves, that would really expedite that process. And finally, which is the very last item, was the potentially looking at a new utility truck. Our current one, the bed of it is completely rusted out. It's in really poor condition. I believe I mentioned that I spoke to Bill Ebert of Ebert LLC. He has these types of trucks all the time to where they recondition them and they sell them throughout the area. I just wanted potentially the board's or the commission's approval, if so approved, that we could go and take a look at the truck, see if it would meet the needs with the city mechanic and our lead team member of our maintenance team. Also, we just today took receipt of our salt spreader and the new V-plow that you purchased, that you approved earlier this year, so thank you so much for that. The park is very, very grateful for what you do for us, so thank you.
Thank you so much. That gets us to discussion on residential housing development. Dan, did we already do that, or is that a?
We've already done that.
Cool. And then review and commission consideration of individual RHDP engagement letters related to financial incentive insurance issuance for Barnes and Thornburg, OW Crone. Is that all one thing?
Well, then on the next page, you have my agreement under economic
Oh, yes, and yours,
development,
yes.
economic finance. So for the commission's understanding, once the confirmatory resolutions are done for each one of the residential housing development programs, there is a bond obligation process that must occur to close on the bonds. These agreements, each, Barnes and Thornburg has submitted one for each one of the residential housing development programs. OW Cronin Associates will be acting as the municipal financial advisor on the obligations. They've submitted 5 individual unique residential housing development program engagement letters. And myself, in assisting them in preparing all the information necessary for the bond to be issued, I've submitted 5 unique individual residential housing development program engagement letters. The cost or the fees for each one of these engagement letters, although they are signed and approved and signed by the Redevelopment Commission, they come under and are paid for at the cost of issuance. So each one of the engagement letters, it is understood that payment would come from the cost of issuance and not be the commission would not be using its funds. So really, the developer is paying it once. So just for your purposes and understanding, assuming Providence at Farmington is closed as a bond, the developer as the bond owner would then wire transfer the funds to the trustee. The trustee takes a few hours to set up all the necessary project funds and departments in order to make payments, receipt funds, and make payments on invoices. Each one of the consultants would submit an invoice, and they would wire the funds usually by 3 to 4 o'clock. So it's coming out of the bond funds, not of the Redevelopment Commission. So in order for that to occur, the trustee needs engagement letters, and that's what these engagement letters are. They're standard, straightforward for bond counsel, for the municipal financial advisor, and for my services to assist in the entire process. You should have all of them in your packets.
So with all 3 of the advisors broken out into each separate of the 5 projects,
Yes.
what kind of what does a motion look like?
Is that a good example of, you take what Dan says and say, "So moved"? Or would that be, need a little bit more detail?
No,
Yes.
5 different projects.
So you would have you would have engagement letters. So if I were to make a recommendation, council, you would do that 5 separate approvals for each one of the projects for an engagement letter. For example, entertain a motion to approve an engagement letter for the River Trace Residential Housing Development Project bond obligation process to engage Barnes & Thornburg, OW Barnes & Thornburg as bond counsel, OW Cronin Associates as the municipal financial advisor, and Development Economic Finance Consulting as the economic development finance advisor. That would be an example. So there'd be 5 separate ones. So if the commission would like me to do that, I will do that for you for
If you
each
could
one
state
of
them
those.
aloud,
I'll give it
that'd
a
be
whirl.
great.
So for example, if I was to make a motion for Bauer Farms project, retaining Barnes and Thornsburg, OW, and DEF as our consultants
On that residential housing
on
development
that
program,
residential
bond
housing
obligation.
development project,
Yes,
bond
obligation.
obligation.
You're good.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Would you like to do
Yeah.
River Trace?
Yeah, we'll do the same thing for River Chase with the same consultants. Is that good enough for a motion?
Second.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Sandy Trail.
And we'll do make a motion for Sandy Trails with the same consultants.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
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 And-
Providence at Farmington.
And make a motion for Providence at Farmington with the same consultants.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And the
Swanson.
last is Swanson Trails.
Make a motion for Swanson Trails project with the same consultants.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Just making sure that was 5, right?
Yes, that's 5. Thank you very much. So once those are all signed, we will have them scanned in and sent over to bond counsel and to each one of the consultants. So bond counsel will have all 15 of them. so that once the trustee, so you also, once the trustee is engaged, and there'll be 5 of those, but we don't engage the trustee until the process is at that point. We're not there yet. But that'll put us in a position to get everything organized and going. So the intent is to have these done by the end of the year. So we're moving forward. Once November 6th happens, then Barnes and Thornburg will take care of all their actions that are necessary, get all the documents ready, and hopefully this can get done before the end of the year.
And how much is the bond?
So each project is separate. Each project is separate, and I did provide you each with a summary of those when we talked about them last month. I don't have them off the top of my head, but it's 5 individual bonds for each developer.
Okay, thank you.
Right. So, any other questions for me?
Does that release you from the meeting?
I think you.
Well, I would ask kindly, my son plays college hockey for the University of Ohio. They are playing a Thursday-Friday series at Adrian College, which is just south of Ann Arbor. They're 7-1 this year, and they're on a 7-game winning streak. So we're looking for another sweep, hopefully, knock on wood. They're
Does anybody
ready to
want a
go.
motion for Dan to be able to leave early?
I would
yeah.
appreciate it.
Yeah, go ahead, Dan.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, and good luck to them playing today.
To the Ohio Bobcats, good luck tonight.
Nice. So we've got Attorney McClure, consideration charitable contribution acknowledgement letter. You're covering that. Oh, okay. I was gonna say, I'm sure you would have been prepared too if that was an attorney
I
thing.
have dual rank in this, too.
Everybody, like
I'm
Tom's
gonna
working
act
for the
as Mr.
police
McClure
department
tonight.
now. You're an attorney now. This is great.
Earlier
Called a
this afternoon, or
cross-training.
actually earlier this morning, we completed the transaction on the 24 acres on Samuelson Road that you approved back in July, I believe it was. We closed on that property this morning. As part of that agreement, there was a charitable donation from the seller for any amount above what we purchased it for, which was $300,000. The average of the 2 appraisals was $405,000. So we offered to give them they're giving us a charitable donation of $105,000. Part of that agreement is that we would give them a recognition letter for that. So I believe that letter's in your package. Is that correct, Sonia? Yep. Okay. So we'd ask for permission for the mayor to sign that letter that we can deliver it to the sellers now that we're complete.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Well, that was great news.
Yep. And my other items, I'll just add at the end
Sure
because I didn't
thing.
get them on the agenda.
So we've got Tom Cherry for consideration supplemental number 1 to a PSA with A&Z Engineering for Portage Mall parking lot.
So you have this in your packets, correct? So this is a supplemental agreement from A&Z Engineering. Your prior approval was for design and engineering of a parking lot for Portage Mall. That is, the scope has changed to a actual road. So this supplemental agreement is for the design for the actual road instead of the approved parking lot. Any
Is
questions?
this a finalized design?
Well, it will be finalized.
It seems weird to me how it's laid out, it doesn't appear to me like it's gonna work at all.
Well, this was, as far as the agreement goes, it was approved by, we're still going to go through.
Well, it's not like
Design,
finished. Oh, yeah,
I mean-
doing this doesn't mean that this is what we're doing. Yeah,
I think
this-
you're looking at a kind of a sketch. That's
yeah,
not,
that's not
that's not
the,
the final design.
that's not the final design.
But is the intent to remove all the parking, so you have to walk 500 feet to get to these businesses?
Yeah, so that was something we talked about, and what was cool, Tom, was it Monday or was it Tuesday? We had the meeting with all of the, the business, oh, yes, because you were there too, I'm sorry, yes. We had the meeting with all of the property owners in the mall, and everybody who's within the mall, they were, I don't want to just speak for everybody, because we've got some who are waiting on their letters to come back, but Bill and Dan and Attorney McClure and Tom did an excellent job, as well as Bill, offering them and explaining how we came up with the amounts for them, and we've got, based on the spirit in the room, I think we've got everybody in agreement for this, and they're all excited about having a street that'll be the first block of a downtown with additional parking on the other side for future development. And one of the big things we talked about is how do we get initial parking? So the plan for the parking lots to the north and to the south, it will have more parking available between them than what's currently there in that mall parking lot. This also solves some of the issues of, one, how do you design a downtown with having this outlier kind of strip mall area separate from it, by having it being able to connect to roads that'll go to the east and the west, you know, both sides in the future or as they come. And also, there's always been kind of that question of how much money, even from the Redevelopment Commission, do you want to spend just to take a parking lot and make it a better parking lot? This is really, and I had this, I know Andy's not here, but it was really neat to hear it. This is like a first in a while, real, like Redevelopment Commission. We're actually really changing something. And so I'm pretty excited about that. But this is not a final design, so it's not like we vote for this and then that's what gets built. But this is the next part of the agreement for design. Is that right, Tom?
Correct.
I know in our meetings, I don't mean to cut you off, but the parallel parking is what I had a problem with, just being a business owner. So now, according to this chart, I can have one car in front of my business as opposed to 3. And you had mentioned that it would be, if we didn't do the parallel, that we would have to do bollards at the cost of the business owner. And I don't think that's right.
So that's a question of how we design it and how we work with everybody. And as noted, we're not going to close until we have an approved project. Voting on this is to be able to continue with the design. It's not the final project. So there's a point where if we get all the design work done and it's something that we all agree with and everybody else agrees with, then we'll be coming back to this board with a final design that then we'd have to approve bids for. And then, of course, then the bids come back and then we have to vote on the bids. So it's not that questions aren't, you know, welcome. I just think in order for us to get to a point where we can negotiate on things like that or where we can assess things like that, we need this agreement to be able to do that. Otherwise, we're not going to have a design going forward, you know?
Well, that's a relief, knowing that this is not the final design. Thank you.
No, and parking on the side of the streets, I mean, they may change, you know, so.
Yeah, no, I think that if we were voting on a final, first off, we don't vote on final designs. What we, you know, they come with a design. If we don't like it, we say, hold on, then they're going to go back to a drawing board. Where our vote really comes in is going to be if we vote to take this out to bid once we like a design. But we're not going to take it out to bid until we have a final design we're bidding on. But then even there, the bids come back, and then maybe for financial considerations or just other, and again, I think that we are ultimately going to get this done, but that's the time where there's still steps to go to also make sure that you have your say on it, you know?
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
So just so I'm clear, that this is a moving forward with the design, and all the businesses are going to have input on how it works and all that kind of stuff, correct?
Yeah, because we're in a spot right now where they're all still, they've got their letters, and I think some have already come back with their, I think some signed right then and there. We joked about doing like a big signing ceremony, but then we've got some that we're waiting on, but not because they said that they were reluctant or anything, and then one couldn't physically be there, and they need to have a vote by their nonprofit board before they
Right,
can
so
actually sign
they're
it.
part of the design process.
Oh, absolutely,
Okay.
yeah.
That's it.
Do we have any other questions or a motion?
Motion to approve the change order?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. That gets us to Sandra McDaniel for consideration for change order number 3 for the 2025 paving and repair project.
Hi, I'm here for approval, asking for approval on our final change order number 3 for this year's Redevelopment Commission paving project. Our change order is a deduct in the contract amount of $56,286.37. The department would recommend approval of this change order.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Thank you. And that gets us to consideration for pay application number 3 for 2025 paving and repair project. One day I'm going to learn how to pronounce everything correctly when you're up here.
So this is our final pay application for the paving project. It is for the final amount of $268,922.12.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. And that gets us to American Structure Point for consideration change order number 8 and 9 for Central Avenue Phase 2 project.
Afternoon, Board. John Tucker, Structure Point. I am presenting change orders 8 and 9 for the Central Avenue project. They are in regards to both change order claims by the contractor. These were claims from change order number 4 that we denied during that process. Both of these claims went through NDOT's process of denial at our project level, denial at the district construction level, but then central office was the last step. That was when settlements were reached based on the claim from the contractor. So they are, excuse me, so claim, change order 8 for claim 1 was for $21,007 and, my handwriting, 68 cents. The original request was $29,900, so that was reduced. Change order 9 for claim 2 was $15,186.12. So cumulative for both change orders, $36,193.80. Based on our overall budget right now, we are under budget. So we do have funds to cover the cost within the contract currently, so no additional funds will be needed, but this would be the next steps of the contractor's claim process that NDOT has established their specs of each level of the process for them to get the claims established. Sorry, excuse me.
We appreciate you guys fighting the good fight through that process and at least getting us to something where, you know,
Yes. We kept pushing,
thank you.
taking this high as we can, so. If there's any questions, I'd be happy to elaborate any further if needed.
Motion to approve change order number 8 and 9 for the Central Avenue Phase 2 project for American Structure Point.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Would I be able to also provide an update for Phase 2, the current project that's happening
Oh,
at
sure
this
thing,
time?
if that's okay, yeah.
Yep, thank you. I just wanted to, so we're currently under construction on Phase 2. Our schedule still has them completing roadway open prior to Thanksgiving. We had another delay on the west end for AT&T. There was a duct that needed to be relocated. AT&T is currently on site. We'll be done with that tomorrow. Dyer will be able to resume the underground work that is at the Brant intersection by Dairy Dip. Everything east of the bridge currently is paved all the way through the intermediate minus the surface layer. We did have some utilities in the new cul-de-sac that delayed a portion of that. Those are now also moved, so they'll be able to be on schedule or on the contractor schedules to complete moving forward. So as of right now, like I said, they will be pavement before Thanksgiving. Striping will be happening right there around there, weather dependent. If it isn't permanent, it'll be temporary. And there will be some restoration work that will be happening probably after Thanksgiving, but without needing of the road closure. So if there's any questions regarding that, the current phase or anything of Central, I'd be also happy to answer.
What kind of celebration are we going to have?
The bonfire, it's gonna be, it depends, weather dependent, we're gonna have a big bonfire over there. Or we just gotta wait and see if it's immediately after, if it's getting too cold, or we wait just a little bit, but we'll have a celebration about it when it's done.
There's a couple
Yeah,
good
with the
open
luck
areas,
we've had,
not
let's
necessarily on the
keep
bridge.
no fires, please.
Oh, yes, and I apologize, I was listening, but I just loved the question. Do you guys have an idea of an anticipated date at this point that people will be driving on the bridge, or?
Plan will be to open it up before Thanksgiving, so
All right,
that is everything.
it's not too
weather-dependent
cold, a
moving forward.
Thanksgiving time bonfire would be pretty cool.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Athgen, if you could please come back up.
Thank you. And I apologize, but we've had a couple issues come up in the last couple days, so I wasn't able to get it on the agenda. First off, we have a couple projects that we've been contacted that we may need some money for some appraisals, some expenditures. So as a precaution, and we don't have to wait another month to get the process going, I'm going to ask for these tonight. First one is on, business on Route 20 has contacted us for possible use of a parcel that the city owns, but we will need to appraise the property if that project moves forward. I don't have quotes on it, so I'm being conservative on the appraisal costs, but I'm going to ask for not to exceed $4,500 for appraisals on parcel 402-007.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Well, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
But I missed it. Did you have a question, Wilma? Oh, I'm sorry. I was looking, I thought you had a question. I'm like, oh, darn it. Okay, we're good.
The second one is for a right-of-way, a possible right-of-way on Route 6, parcel 226-001. Same issue, I don't have quotes, but I'm going to use $4,500 for those appraisals, not to exceed $4,500.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And then my last issue was you had previously approved for us to submit an offer on a small parcel of land in support of the Burns Harbor Parkway extension. We've had the appraisals done. We've got the numbers back. We've got the numbers back for the entire parcel as well. So we'd like for permission for the mayor to sign an offer for the entire parcel for a willing seller.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you for your work in that.
You bet. It's not over yet.
All right. So any other things before we adjourn, or is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Oh, wait a second. Mr. Moran, did you need something from us? Oh, okay, I'm sorry. So we have a motion. I just panicked. I saw you there like, wait, was there something? Okay, cool.
I'm going to be a good bill.
Okay, got it. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you.